Oh, yep, I hear you going off. I'm going off live. Let's check it out. Tea Talks, Tea Talks.
Thank you for listening to the TTalks.net podcast, the show that brings you information, guidance, and support to entrepreneur-minded individuals like yourself. TTalks.net will give you something to talk about tomorrow. This isn't the daily show, but this is the show where you'll get everything. You'll get a fiesta of a mix with the old and the new. They will give you tips and insights into everyday business, big wins in everyday life. They have a lot to add, from bookkeeping to sales, sales management, and sales training, and daily content for listeners to learn and enjoy. We are here to improve your life and business or sales career. Without any further ado, introducing the dynamic duo, Alex De Luca and Rafael Rodriguez Jr.
Whee! Hello, good evening, good afternoon. My name's Alex DeLuca, and welcome back to Tea Talks. Rafael Rodriguez, man, how you doing today?
Well, good evening, Alex. How you doing? Rafael Rodriguez from Hollywood, Florida, in the house.
In the house tonight. Every time you do the good evening, I'm thinking of Robin Williams and Good Morning Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam. But what a character, man. Sure. What a character. What a classic. What a good guy. Tea Talks, we are live again. Today is March 4th, 2021. We made it 10 p.m. Once again on the dot. We are live for you, giving you tips, insights, big wins in business on a daily basis. Let's see if we can improve your career, sales, life, business, or whatever we can do. Action-packed 30 minutes. What do we got today, Ralph?
I think we should keep on the sales tips and
keep on.
I think as a small business owner, making sales is critical. And yeah, absolutely. And
the lifeline.
You gotta kind of find a balance between being successful or being annoying. And I think
fine line.
We should kind of maybe talk about today about how to keep the balance and some tips for cold calling and buying time and be upfront who you are, smiling, use names.
Definitely. Let's go. Let's dig into some more tips. We had we were going off with the last few episodes. If you were tuning in, the best sales tips. We had to drop at least 50, 60 different one-liners, one sentences, and ideas, and great aspects of the art of selling that we're fine-tuning our pencil at the same time.
And actually, I think it's not only beneficial for our listeners, but it kind of reminds us of the things that we need to do when we're out there and we're hustling and bustling and trying to make things happen.
That's it. It's all about making things happen and following a system. And that's one thing, if you are new and you touch base on, balancing yourself between being successful and being annoying, and we talked about the other guy last week that sounds like a remorse letter, like to get the job. It's like, poor guy. At the same time, being annoying and being persistent are two different things, especially if you don't have that much experience. It's found that the pushy, salesperson isn't the one that gets the job.
Well, in my True Green days, one of the things that we realized, and I mean, we're going back many years, is that here we are, we're saying sell, but yet that same person only had a net gain year over year of 200 customers compared to your mediocre guy that sold half of it but had almost 75% of their units roll over to the following year. So here we are rewarding the top guy, where the middle guy was actually being more beneficial to the company. So there was a restructure altogether in regards to not only incentivizing sales as a higher number, for also incentivizing the retention. And this is more on a recurring type of sales structure, but it you kind of get the essence of, not trying to push the product on people's throat, and there's always a 3-day rescission period if you sell something in somebody's home, or typically a cancellation clause. The last thing you want to do is go through all that motion for somebody to just call right behind you and say, you know what, I don't want this.
You go through all that time and effort, and
Not worth it.
You twist too many arms, and you get to the end, and you get them to sign, and come to find out that they called in the next day just to cancel. Oh, what a waste of time! And you know it when you do it. Like you know that it's a flip of a coin, and you're throwing spaghetti on the wall. Are they, do they want to go through the process again with somebody else, or do they, they really just, not like you, and you pushed it? We've had those sales reps. We can name a couple, right? That
absolutely.
We've gotten phone calls and gotten kicked out of the house because they don't try. But hey, those guys, make money for themselves and bring in business. But I've never been the person to get kicked out of the house. It's like, you sell yourself, you sell the company, and if you do your job, you win.
Yeah, and it's horrible to say.
And you lose too, even if you do your job.
There were several companies that they said that they waited for they wanted to get the police so they can go out and leave. And anytime I hear that, I just cringe. I'm like, why would you want somebody to call the police to get you out? So because you're trying to sell.
That's taking it a little too far, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ.
So, we don't want to get to that point. We want to be professional. We want to go ahead and convey and do our show to the point that they're going to say, where do I sign?
That's it. Where do I sign? Where do I sign? That would be amazing if everybody said that. What's the secret sauce to make them say it, Ralph? Well, let's dive right into some tips.
The killer salesperson within you, one, or killer salesperson within you, part 2. The ultimate.
When's part 2 going to be published?
Huh?
When's part 2 coming out?
Part 2 will be available hopefully in another 30 days.
There you go.
Yeah.
I hope it's grammar corrected. I didn't read it, so you should be good.
We don't care about the grammar. All we care about is the essence.
That's it. It's the juice. It's the meat. That's why I'd rather do this live than blog and type it down, because you're getting us a real live, edited and uncut, and we're doing it on a daily basis. 40 years combined experience in sales, and you're getting it from us. We're going to jump right into the next Tea Talk topics as we're moving along here. We have some sales tips for cold calling. Cold calling is not dead. If you tell people on the internet that, they'll think you're crazy. Cold calling is not dead. Is it dead, Ralph?
It's not.
No. Contrary to popular belief, cold calling is not dead. The best professionals still use it till this day to get sales through their funnel.
Even with COVID-19, it's not dead.
Doesn't make me stop. That's one reason that when I say I am from Naples, Florida, I didn't let COVID slow me down. I knew Broward, Miami-Dade were going to slow up a little bit, so I came over to a less populated area and never slowed down in business. You adapt more ways than you can. If you got to do what you have to do, but I cold call on a daily basis for prospecting in a couple different realms there. Cold calling is critical, and it's often the first time we actually get to talk to somebody without spending any marketing dollars. Like, imagine that. You can go out there and find leads without spending marketing money.
And I don't know if you heard about this trick, but try to pretend that you receive $50 for every unnecessary word you remove from your cold calling script. How many words will you eliminate on that sales pitch?
Okay, I see where you're going there. So eliminating, keep it short and simple, right? Kiss it.
Short and simple.
Kiss it. It's one of the first things that you learn in sales, and God gave you the 2 ears and the one mouth for a reason, like we said before, right? Like, just keep it short, keep it simple. Even when we're talking about emails, keep them short, keep them simple, keep it elementary, keep it layman's terms. But as what else do you want to throw onto that one?
Well, and you know what? The one thing that you should be doing is that prospect buyers should want to be you got to get them to the point that they want to listen to what's next, what's coming out next. You got to give them, you got to get that connection within that script as you're talking to them and doing the sales call. Especially it is a call. So, are you excited? Are you smiling? And you're rehashing something from nothing. Hopefully, you should always have material. Depending on how long of a company you're working with and how long you've been prospecting. I don't know about you, Alex, but I got people that called me from 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Because you're always selling yourself, regardless of what you're selling.
Oh no, people will give you referrals too, and that's the easiest thing. As long as you're selling yourself, they want to deal with you. They want their friends to deal with you, to get the overall experience. But, when you're talking about, the prospect paying attention to the next sentence or wanting to hear the next sentence, that's all the impulse that you're using in your tone. That's your part of your show. Your ins and your outs, your monotone voice, the high points and savings and things that interest them, you get more excited about. It's all a process, and that's a huge thing. Passionate, genuine, real, live. You're in front of the homeowners just like we're in front of this camera, so you got to bring the sauce. You make that energy.
Well, here, look. Hi, my name is Rafael from ABC Company. I am calling you today because at one point or another you were interested in a roof. How's that going for you?
Did you lose a family member? Are you okay? do you need me to send you chocolate strawberries?
Hi, this is Rafael from ABC Company. We were out there not too long ago, and we gave you a free estimate, which is still good for a year, and wanted to know, did you get a chance to change that roof?
No, but did you get a chance to try some Red Bull? Of course I got a chance to change my roof, man. Thank you, man, for the call. You're a breath of fresh air. But no, it's huge. It's a totally different thing, and you have to experience, in my opinion, both in person, retail, in home, whatever it may be, and over the phone. You got to learn how to smile and dial, even if they're not in front of you. And then once they get in front of you, that's the easy part. You bring everything, all the energy, everything that you can to the table.
Well, you notice how I was smiling, right?
Smiling, that's it, man, the whole time. My wife said, why you keep smiling? I'm like, I'm bringing energy. It's 10 p.m. I worked all day. I'm smiling. Let's go. I'm drinking a decaf.
You got that Quan.
That Quan. It's it. It's in your blood. You're born with it or not. If you're not born with it, you can be made. It takes time. I was one of the laziest procrastinators you could ever meet as a teenager.
Well, and here are a couple of tricks that I use with my new salespeople, especially in the call center, is that
tips and tricks.
Get a magazine and cut out a picture of somebody and just put it in front of you. Pretend that you're talking to that individual. Sometimes that will tell you to put a mirror so you can make sure that you're smiling. But I always wanted that picture of that individual because you have to visualize that you're actually talking to, even if you have to close your eyes, just visualize it. Now, unfortunately, I kind of do that a lot because that's, being in the call center and training a lot of people in the call centers and talking about, how you're imagining, like what we're doing right now. I'm imagining that I have an audience full, this is an auditorium full of people, and they're listening to what we're saying.
No, yeah, man, and especially bringing it back to when you're on the phone, somebody can tell on the other line if you're smiling. You sound more genuine. You sound more upbeat. And it's in the phone, on the phone or in person. It's all about the energy.
Well, and a lot of times, I used to call it the 5 6 second rule. You know,
5 6 second rule. Okay.
Yeah, you talk for 5 or 6 seconds, and you kind of pause to kind of listen and see if they're actually paying attention to you, and then you try to bring them back because you know, especially and now we're going back to the call center days that the attention span on somebody on the other line is typically 5 to 6 seconds. You either got them or don't have them, and I don't know if you ever counted out what 5 seconds sounds like, but when you're on the phone, it looks like an eternity.
Oh yeah.
And the whole
and if you're on the other line, of course.
And the whole conversation, you know, the attention grabbing scenario, you're talking about 25 to 30 seconds. That's your window of opportunity. If you don't have them at that point, that's it. You don't have them.
You know, if you don't have them at the door saying hello, you don't have them. It's all about the intro, the walk-in before you even get to the intro. The first 5 minutes, first impression, that's everything.
You know, and one of the things that I did want to do, and with your permission, what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a little thing. Are you ready?
A little thing. Oh, geez. Here we go.
Now.
What are you doing? The suspense is killing me. What are you waiting for? Don't smile.
That was 30 seconds.
That felt like forever. I could have went to
Didn't
freaking
it feel
Orlando.
like forever? 30 seconds, guys.
My heart started racing by the end of it. The suspense was killing me.
Well, 30 seconds goes. It feels like an eternity, especially if you're waiting. And the 5 to 6 second rule that you know you shoot out information and then you're kind of you pause and wait for a response to. Okay, I heard. You pause and try to get a response and see what they have to say. And regardless if you're on the phone, regardless you're in the, you're sitting down or you're keeping your social distance 6 feet apart and you're talking to them, you should always have some type of pause to kind of get some feedback on when you're talking to that individual when you're doing your show.
No, of course. And as we scroll down, how many pages did you add to this today?
Just around 30 pages.
Yeah. Typed up overnight, huh?
Yep. Well,
there you go.
The one thing that, we do a lot, which is go off the script.
Yes.
And I actually knew one person, actually a few of them, that 90% of their sales show or the sales call had nothing to do with what they were selling. 90%.
That's me all the time. And when I try to teach that to somebody, they think I'm crazy. They're like, "Why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about this?" They literally I have to explain, dude, it's all about. It's a relationship building process. We're selling ourselves how I can communicate with the other human being. Can we mesh well? Do they want to do business with me? Can we talk about the same topics? It all goes hand in hand.
Well, and we said it 1,000 times. People buy from people they like. If you're too robotic and you're just straight, business, you might go well with somebody who is very analytical and very, business-like. And we always talk about being a chameleon because, there are certain customers that, being a chameleon might work and it might not work. And it's part of your investigative process at the beginning to try to fill them out and take a course of action that hopefully is going to take you to the right path. And be prepared that you might have to switch it up based on the feedback that you're getting from the prospect.
And being prepared is, being able to go off script and go back on script. Be prepared for the curveball they throw you. Don't adjust your attitude with the reactions to what you're selling about price and about, your product versus another product. And, if you don't know something, you don't know it. We talk about all this stuff. And when we're all thinking about this, I'm going to say it time and time again. We're there to sell one thing. That's a demonstration and nothing else. So if you have your blinders on and you let everything else, hold all their thoughts that they're giving you till the end, and you sell that demonstration, you follow your process of the killer salesperson or this sales system or that, you'll get to the end journey, and you'll see your closing ratio starting to go up. And that's on topic and off topic with T-Talks. That's what you're going to get. But jumping back onto the topic of what we try to have in front of us to go over tonight. We went over smiling, buying time, different conversation parts, but using people's names is more important than you can imagine. Like that's their name. They've had it since they were born. So if I feel like a jerk when I walk up to a house and I don't remember a name. I look at my phone real quick. I'm like, real quick, what's his name? All right, cool. Hey, John, how you doing, man? How's it going? And just having that backup. But names
Dale
are.
Carnegie said once that a person's name to that person is the sweetest and the most important sound in any language.
Yeah, no, that was Mr. Carnegie himself. I don't know if it's him or talking to Napoleon, but one of them. Them two blend together for me.
Well, and absolutely. I mean, you want to make it personable. I try to always use their last name until they tell me, "Oh no, you can call me by my first name." But there are certain people that you might you might be able to call them by their first name just by the way that they're reacting and how they're acting, especially when you're doing face to face. When you're on the phone, I immediately, depending on the situation, I start with their last name and work my way to their first name. And again, you're always assessing.
Let's go. Quick
show.
Quick story about using first names and last name, cold calling business to business, me being a punk kid in high school, right? So I used to be the all-star at getting the decision maker on the phone, right past the gatekeeper. She couldn't buff me. She couldn't stop me. I don't care if it was a Pepsi CEO or somebody that had 25 lines down in Brickell that I wanted to switch on their telecom bill from AT&T or something. I would literally find out what his first name was, had to. Find out when you go to lunch from calling out, a history of phone calls, finding that final time where he's at his desk. And every time I'm calling in, hey, is John there? Who is it? It's Alex. I'm his friend. Just let me get through. John answers the phone. Hey, John, what's going on? It's Alex. And this goes right back to what we were just talking about. Be direct and to the point at that point. I'm Alex. I'm with XYZ company, and this is why I'm on the phone. I don't care about the weather or fishing at this point. I'm direct. I'm to the point. My mission statement in 10 or less words is there, and that's what I'm there to do.
Well,
you only get that one shot, that one time, that one opportunity. Don't miss it. Eminem.
Amen to that. And again, it depends on the scenario. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing business to business, you definitely you want to get right to jump the gatekeepers and when you do jump
I used to love that, man. That was the first fire I got from excitement. Was I was just setting appointments as a kid too, and I was I'd come out of high school and get to the call center, haul ass there by 3:30 so I can make calls by 6:30. And my boss would be like, yeah, I closed that deal yesterday. And I'm like, what do you tell these people? Because I'm saying I'm going there tomorrow. He's like, I just say you get food poisoning. So he told people for a year straight, oh, I wanted to beat Alex. He was such a nice guy, but he got food poisoning. Sorry to hear. And that, I don't know, maybe they signed up for sympathy, but dude, we would rake in like that.
Awesome.
Good stuff, man.
That's some good stuff right there. You can't make
this
up.
That is, geez. I graduated high school in 2006, so that was 2005 and 2006.
It's been a while, huh?
How old were you in 2006?
12.
Get the fuck out of here. 27.
So going right along.
What topic are we on now? Tea Talk topics, juicy stuff.
Sales tips for prospecting.
Yes.
A lot of people don't realize that they have. If you have a CRM, and if you don't, I will highly suggest that you should have something, because that's basically where you keep all your gold nuggets, all your rough rocks that could be a potential diamond. That's where you keep it at. And typically you break it up into different tiers. I personally like to have what we call leads, prospect, and customers. Those are my
just three. Sweet and simple.
My 3 sales pipeline that I use. Leads are potential. Prospects, we already have an interest. Customers already have done something with them, and they're a great source for referrals. And when things are becoming thin,
and that it's a full circle, right? You're not done with the sale. You gotta, give the planet more oxygen again. Redo the circle. How do you redo the circle? That's with the referrals. That's the rehash. That's the referral. You go back in there and ask for 10 names. 10 names. Give me 10 names.
And
I'll take 8.
let me tell you, if you did what you said you did, and the company did whatever they said, and you always maintain contact, it's not a bang wham, thank you ma'am type of relationship. I typically always say is that you should at least touch 2 or 3 times with these individual, at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, and say how everything went. And is there anything that you can do to help them out? Because that's the time and opportunity you have to go ahead and ask for those referrals. By the way, if any of your friends, families, you know anybody that needs XYZ, I'm your man. Or
And
woman,
look, guys, if your company, they should already have a referral program for existing customers, because that's less money they have to spend on marketing. So if there isn't any type of spiff or for referrals, it's right on the back of my roofing business card right there. Boom, $250 referral. Anybody that sent it. I have one guy that has sent me 5 of those since I've moved over to Fort Myers. It's phenomenal. Like you said, if the company does what you said you're going to do, because as a salesperson, we are the face of that company. When we're in that house, we're representing that company and we're saying XYZ. And if company backs up XYZ and does a good job, by all means, they're going to give you clients without asking. But you always have to ask, right? Ask, what can we do to make you make the decision right now? It's all about asking the right questions in this business and not being afraid and being persistent.
And it's incredible how time is flying. And one of the things that you should do is that your pipeline, you should have anywhere between, your mixture should be almost 30-30-30. Okay, 30% leads, 30% prospect, 30% customers. That 30% customer, if 10% of them gives you 5 to 6 different potentials, and keep in mind, those people that they give you, you're already going there with at least 4 or 5 plus on that bar, because you're coming recommended compared to anybody else that might be in line if they're looking for whatever they're looking for, especially in the home, in the home improvement business. If they're buying a roof and you just did Mr. Jones,
yep,
you're going to be more apt to go ahead and get the business. And all you got to do is say, what do I need to do to earn your business?
And no matter what business you're in, if you're selling something, especially the home improvement realm, which we talk about a lot, and which I am now doing Southwest Florida, Cape Coral, Miami areas, you're over there doing it Broward, Dade, taking care of homeowners. it's all about referrals. It's all about doing the customer right and growing your business. That's the best way, easiest way to go. If you're doing installs, you're knocking those installs, saying I'm working on your neighbor's house, and you'll find out in in these times, a lot of people, they don't even know their neighbors nowadays. So you're like, hey, I'm doing John's house, 5 houses. John's doing his window. Who's John? I'm like, that's the guy. You don't hear us banging down there? Well, sorry about the noise. There's a great program that's helping homeowners right now. Have you heard of it? And you're asking questions, and that I just said a 5 or 6 second line there, and I shut up. Did you hear about it?
Wait.
Are you looking to do anything in your home?
Today's show, Alex. What do you think is our biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway from this show, I would say, probably the intro when we talked about, not the intro, but having the prospect wanting to hear your next sentence. If you can bring the energy, the attitude, the aura, what we call the quan, the big time, the big show, the money shot, if you can bring that feeling to the table to where you have them wanting to listen to what you have to say about your product, you win. I think that's the biggest takeaway from T-Talk episode, whatever this is. March 4th, baby, 2021.
All right, well, give me a second. Let's go ahead and, man, time just went by so quickly.
We, after tax season, we might have to start at 9:30 and run an hour.
We'll see about that.
Especially once you start getting, we're getting people reaching out, public adjusters, people from top financing companies across the state of Florida. They've been tuning in. They see a great platform. We have something good going. We could use it. They're down to help us grow and come on and share some juice and information. So we will do some interviews in the future, make it fun, whether it's live or we just post it on the site so you guys can enjoy. We'll figure that one out.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and...
Thank you for tuning in to ttalks.net. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want us to talk about, email us at rafael@ttalks.net or comment below. Please follow us on YouTube at ttalksnet and Facebook at ttalksnet. Please rate us and don't forget that sharing is caring. Thank you for your support. Till next time, we will T-Talk later.
And my name's Alex DeLuca. Good night from Naples and across the nation.
And this is Rafael from Hollywood, Florida, saying good night.
And we'll T-Talk to you next time.